Mumford and Sons with their folk pop. This is I Will Wait. My guest of the day is on the phone.
94.3.
This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishi K.
Dabboo Ratnani, thank you for joining me. And it's really a tribute to our COVID-19 warriors. So I'm really glad that you've joined us. Dabboo, it's not easy for anybody. I mean, especially somebody like you who keeps such an active lifestyle to be cooped up indoors. But it helps having 3 lovely children and 1 lovely wife. So how have days in lockdown been so far?
To be honest, I feel that it's not been so bad for me. Like you said, my family, 3 kids and Manisha and me, we entertain each other. We keep ourselves busy. And, I mean, this is the least we can do for the country, the least we can do for everybody who lives in our country, because, by staying home, we are actually helping the workers, the healthcare workers, we are helping the cops. We are helping the whole country by being indoors, so that's the least I think everybody should do for the country. And it's not been bad because since years I've been putting off trying to sort out my data, which is terabytes and terabytes of shoots, which I've, always backed up on multiple hard drives. So I'm kind of organizing it into one shoots or like multiple shoots hard drives. So, there's insane amount of data which is, kind of got backed up during this lockdown. So I've been doing that. I've been doing a lot of online study. I feel that in a creative profession, you never learned enough. I feel there's a lot to do when you have the free time. So I've been following a lot of these Adobe workshops and a lot of like camera maker workshops to kind of see, what's coming next on a perspective of creative directors, on various other softwares. So I've been doing my bit of learning, which we usually never get the time to do in our busy schedules in our lifetime.
Irrespective of what profession you're in, because my uncle who's a CA was saying the same thing.
Right.
I think, man, I handle so many accounts, but I never backed them up. So, getting them on drives and redefining that stuff. So do you just go with the flow when you wake up every morning, or do you set yourself a timetable, make an Excel sheet and things like that? How's that going?
No, I go with the flow because kids in the morning have online school. So the first hour or so goes in like settling them down to getting there, if they have any glitch or if they have any query in terms of, because it's new for them, to handle. And then we have 3 kids. So in 3 different rooms, we've set up the computers. My son uses my laptop. Manisha's laptop is used by my daughter. And I've got 1 desktop from the studio, which my third daughter is using. So at first, first couple of days, I was setting them up. Now they've got used to it. So then while they are working, I'm sitting in the living room and, doing my work as well. And I go with the flow really. And then in the evening, I try and put in at least 30 minutes of workout. I try, not all days I manage, but, and then we end up watching some TV series, some movie in the night. So that's been my schedule, like a work day. But there's no method to it. I mean, it could be random.
And it's such a great leveler. Radio presenters, movie stars, celebrity photographers, everybody has to deal with the same situation. So what are Manisha and you doing for groceries? Do they come to the building, you go down, bring them up and sanitize them? Your daily essentials, what's the process?
So the veggies, there's a veggie guy who comes home, pick it up. And then I live very close to Food Hall, which is on Linking Road. So Manisha and me have gone there a few times, like once in 8-10 days, and pick up whatever we need. I try not to do it too often. Rather, you go and just pick up in one lot, and so it lasts you for a week or 10 days and then go again. So I don't want to get down too often. So in this month, I think we've gone thrice to like Food Hall and the grocery stores closed.
More with celebrity photographer Dabboo Ratnani. I caught up with him on video, and this is the radio version of that interview. More on the other side. But first, Sia and The Weeknd with Elastic Heart. Only on 94.3 Radio 1 World, your station. I'm Hrishi K. One Republic with kids. Talking about his kids, his family, and his life in lockdown is photographer Dabboo Ratnani. For all you budding still photographers listening, time to talk about the art then and now.
94.3.
This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishi K.
What's that one skill that you've picked up? You said you're doing a lot of online workshops. Is there something new that you've learned? I mean, you're such an experienced photographer. 2.5 decades in the business. Can anybody teach Dabboo Ratnani anything? Anything you picked
I feel there's always stuff to learn. I feel there's so much, like for instance, when I started photography 25, 30 years ago, I was doing film photography, and then everything turned to digital. Around 2004 is when we moved to digital. So there is so much stuff stuff that has gone in even in the softwares of processing. So, like also in this 1 month, images which I've used in 2010, 2009, I've reprocessed those images and they look completely different now because it's so much more sharper, the colors look better, the softwares have come a long way since that time, so that way digital photography has been a boon because, the same image which you've archived like 20 years ago or 15 years ago, you reprocess it and it looks completely new now, So, and then I've been learning, like there's a software called Capture One. Fine tuning those software. Usually we depend everything on our image retouchers, but I feel that when you do little work on your raw file and then give it to the image retoucher, it becomes closer to what look you have in mind. So, and a photographer doesn't need to know Photoshop or doesn't need to know image retouching, but as long as he knows what he wants, what he kind of the desire of this picture should look like this, or this picture should have this kind of a mood or this kind of a lighting or this kind of a tone. So that can be achieved when you, in your raw file, if you kind of tweak it initially and then give it to the image retouch.
We've got a 7-year-old and an 8-month-old. So in that aspect, Myra, Kiara, Shivana are a lot older. But children surprise you, don't they? I mean, we always thought they're going to have a meltdown. What are they going to do? And I find the elder one is painting, reading books, watching a bit of television. The younger one is, just playing around. And I want to know about the kids. I mean, how they are handling it. It's tough, isn't it? I mean, not being able to go to a school playground and this and that. But you all seem to be holding up very well. You must be a proud father.
Absolutely. I think they've held up pretty well, much better than we expected, So, but I think in the initial few days, they are so used to going down like in the evening or going down to the building to play and to use the energy in the football or, running around, stuff like that, cycling. But, it happens that they were pretty okay with it. They kind of understood the whole situation, the importance of the situation, and it's worked pretty well. First few days we had to kind of teach them, that the hygiene, the kind of what the do's and don'ts. We explained to them very clearly, that anything that comes from outside also don't touch it, immediately. Let it be cleaned. If you touch something, then sanitize your hands. So we've, educating the staff of the house, we're educating the kids, we're educating even the building security watchmen downstairs that, we've given them a bottle of sanitizer and said that, okay, if anything comes, a delivery guy comes, wear your mask, then take the delivery, wash your hands, sanitize your hands. So it's been a tough time, but it's been a lot of learning as well.
Well, I noticed that the Ratnanis are doing well in the cooking department. I saw 3 chefs, tiny little chefs with their chef hats, and a papa chef trying to cook some pasta. How did that go?
I cooked after many years. I've definitely cooked pasta before, and it was impromptu. The one night before, I said, "Chalo, tomorrow I'm going to cook." So they were very, very excited to hear that, okay, Dad's cooking. They haven't seen me cook that much. So it went out very well. In fact, the pasta got wiped out. We had to make a second batch. So I think we did pretty well. We left Manisha in the room. Without any help from Manisha, we made the pasta in the kitchen.
Dabboo Ratnani there talking about his wife Manisha Ratnani and more. Stay tuned because we shall continue that chat. My name is Hrishi K and this is 94.3 Radio 1 One World, your station. Here's Ava Max with Salt on the playlist. Enjoy. Tayo Cruz featuring the incredible Kylie Minogue, that's Higher. Dabboo Ratnani, the photographer, is my guest of the day. Remember, his brother Vicky Ratnani is a celebrity chef. A cue for my next bit of conversation.
94.3
This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishi K.
Radio 1.
When I meet you, I get to ask a question which I am asked all the time about Sid and me. So, because both of us are in the same profession, and this is the time when I actually get to vent everything out and ask you that. Vicky and yourself, what did they feed you in the Ratnani household, man? Your professions are different, obviously, but my question is, how well can you cook, and how well does he click pictures?
He cooks really well and does a decent job in shooting pictures because he travels so much and he keeps shooting his food. And I'm his go-to guy in terms of tech. He'll call me and say, okay, I've got this camera, or I helped him to choose the camera that he should buy. And also in terms of what kind of lighting the food looks best in, so I've given him a lot of tips tips in terms of how to be photographing his food. He's done a pretty good job, and he goes to markets and used to go to markets and shoot the vegetables and send me pictures and stuff like that. In terms of cooking, I think I'm not as good. I mean, I'm far better photographer than I'm a cook. But I love food, So when I go to his place or when his restaurant was close to my house, I used to only go on the days that I want to binge, because you ask for one thing and 5 things used to come instead. So try this, try this, try this, try this. And I say, give me something healthy. Go home and eat healthy. Oh, in my restaurant, don't talk about healthy, So when his restaurant was close by, I put on 10 kilos. Yeah.
Sweet. Okay, let's come to the calendar now. My condolences. I know you're a wonderful mom. I see these pictures of her and I just want to go and pull her cheeks. And we can't do that. I mean, you guys can't do that as children anymore. The calendar was a little delayed because of her passing. And it's almost as though her blessing, her invisible blessing is there for you, because it's turned out better than ever before. So even though it was delayed, like they say in Hindustani, der aaye durust aaye.
Absolutely. I feel that, at one point, we didn't know where to start because this happened in November. Mom passed in November, and till 12th of December, which was the 12th day, we didn't even start thinking of the calendar, because at that point we didn't know whether we should we skip it for a year, should we? But then I thought that, we have to get our mind out of it, because we were so into the depression, and every day was such a scene that we could not handle. So I felt that, she would have not want to see me like this, and there were tough times because there's so many decisions that you make at the hospital. There's so much playing on your mind that, did you do the right thing? Did you do this? Did you do enough? Did you spend enough time with her? There was so much. It was very emotional, the moments. But I feel that she loved my calendar. She was one of the biggest supporters of my photography as a kid. When I started my career, it was amazing because in 1990 is when I started assisting Sumit Chopra. And around that, in the 80s and late 80s, photography wasn't such a cool profession to be in. It was a very niche profession. It was, but it was the guts of my parents that they allowed Vicky to become a chef and me to be doing photography. So she loved, and was very happy that I took on this profession. So I felt that, why to stop a tradition which we've been doing since the last 21 years now. So that's how I decided. So around 15th of December is when I started shooting for the calendar. I think 16th December was my first shoot. So it was quite late already, to start a calendar. And then I said, it's okay, we'll skip. So we skipped the Feb month actually.
Yeah.
We don't have a Jan-Feb page in my calendar. It starts from March onwards and goes till Jan 2021. So it's going to be lasting till Jan. So before Jan, we're going to pull out the next calendar. And then get back to the normal schedule of the calendar. But it was a tough time, but I'm glad we did it. And like you said, it turned out better than ever before. So, the calendar got great response, great reaction. And I'm glad we finally went ahead and did it.
Well, that really explains why there are not 24 stars, but 22 this year. Is that the reason? Because you started. Yeah. So
up ahead, we're going to traverse some landmarks in Dabboo Ratnani's career. Don't go anywhere. This is 94.3 Radio 1 One World, your station. I'm Hrishi K. Here's Kelly Clarkson with Walk Away. Daft Punk and Pharrell Williams, that's Get Lucky. It takes a lot more than luck to achieve what my guest of the day has achieved in the field of photography. Toil, hard work, talent, and instinct. Dabboo Ratnani is chatting with me.
94.3
This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishi K.
Radio 1.
But really amazing, yeah. 21 years of the calendar, 25 years of a career. And I know it's not easy putting this vista of stars together. Because there's no money involved. You do it out of sheer love. And you've managed, and they keep coming back for the love of Dabboo Ratnani. So when you started off 21 years ago, 25 years was career, 21 years ago was the calendar. Did you know you wanted to do this every year, or did you start off as an experiment saying, let's do year one and, baad mein dekhenge?
It was absolutely, like Y2K was the buzzword. Everybody was talking about the new millennium. Everybody like Y2K. So, I said, what better way to bring in the millennium but with dates, and took 12 of my pictures that time, which I had shot between 94 and 99 pictures. It was only women at that point. I didn't even have such a major database of actors and of stock images, So I pulled out realm of my work, By Designs, ad agency designed the calendar for me. And literally, like in the last few days of December, I gave out the calendar, and the response amazing because no calendar had 12 stars in it, 12 top stars. Like, in those days, there was Aishwarya, there was Sonali Bendre, there was Raveena Tandon, there were so many top actors, at that point in the calendar, Kajol. So, and everybody just came and shot for it, like, at one call. They found concept, very new concept, and a couple of shots I did in December, and the rest I used like stock images which I shot down the years, and it turned out beautiful. And everybody said, now then the male actor said, why you didn't feature us? So I said, okay, now come on, next year onwards we'll actually shoot for the calendar. So from 2000, the year 2000, which was a 2001 calendar, we actually started, doing exclusive images for the calendar itself, and turned out great. I mean, there was an amazing response, and 21 years later, it's still buzzing.
And your friend Vidya Balan has a grouse saying there was 1 year where there were only men. She wasn't featured in it.
She'll never forget about it. She'll never forget. So 2007, I shot with her for the first time for my calendar. And 2008, around 2007 December, I bumped into her at Yashraj's studio. She came to, I could make out from her face that why have I not asked her for the calendar yet. I said, listen, before you ask me, I know what's on your mind. This year, 2008, I'm planning an all-male calendar. She was so upset. She said, oh God. She said, oh, can you feature me in the male calendar as well? It's fine. I'll dress up like a man and do it. So she hasn't forgotten that yet. Every time we shoot together for the calendar, she always goes into that flashback that there was 1 year you didn't take into non-stop.
The stars and their vibe with Dabboo Ratnani. More on that and a stellar career up ahead on the show. Don't go anywhere. Here's Rihanna with We Found Love, only on 94.3 Radio 1. One World, your station. I'm Hrishi K. All Falls Down, the Alan Walker Noah Cyrus hit to go with ace photographer Dabboo Ratnani's interview. More conversation, this time on the movie stars debuting in his 2020 calendar.
94.3
This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishi K.
Radio 1.
So let's talk about the debutantes. Vicky, Bhumi, Ananya Pandey, Bhumi Pednekar, Vicky Kaushal. For Ananya, this is really, really nostalgic because you've been sending copies of the calendar to Chunky and Bhavna for years. So this kid literally grows up seeing Dabboo Ratnani's calendar in a living room in a bedroom. And here she is on the set, and you could see the excitement. It was so palpable, just hanging with you and the kids and Manisha.
Right. So yeah, I think with Ananya, I've literally seen, I've known Chunky Bhavna since forever, and they've been coming for my calendar launches. I've been sending the calendar, Tian, everybody, the whole family, Chicky. I've known them really well since, the whole Bandra days, the Bandra, it's a long, long time. And then this was the first year Ananya's first shoot with me was straight for the calendar. We have not even worked together. So it was very exciting because, first of all, she's got great energy about her, and she, photographs beautifully. So, and it was a very, very emotional moment. I think it happens with many people. It happened even last year with Janvi when I shot her for the first time for my calendar. And it was that Sridevi ma'am wanted Janvi to be in the calendar the previous year. But because the film had not released till then, we couldn't shoot her she couldn't be a part of the previous calendar, 2018. And then we connected again in 2019 and she featured in that calendar. So I think these emotions, there was a lot of connection that I've built over the last 25 years with lots of people in the industry. So for me, it's a lot to do with my connect, So if you see my calendar, from the beginning, I've had Abhishek, I've had Mr. Bachchan, I've had Hrithik, Shah Rukh. There have been many, Akshay, Aishwarya. They've all been more or less constants in the calendar, So, but 18, 19 of them have been featuring every year or every alternate year. John. So John, I shot his first portfolio ever. He was in school with me. So there's been a lot of connections, which it's a more emotional journey. And I feel that, sustaining for these 25 years, I don't see any other photographer from that generation who has sustained so many years. So this calendar is something which just kept me really buzzing, kept me really thinking, and kept me very fired about my profession, about my photography. Because every year we are competing with my own calendar and saying, okay, this year what new to do. I shot with Mr. Bachchan 1,000 times. What should I do this time? What should I do something new this time? What have I not done with him before? So I think that kind of pressure keeps me also really, fired up to do what should we plan next for the calendar. So there are a lot of emotional moments that we deal with in this whole journey of calendar.
Emotions that translate into great still images. Images that talk so much. Dabboo Ratnani and his life and times. The lockdown and his 2020 calendar with me, Hrishi K. Let's listen to some Enrique, Red One and R City. This is Don't You Need Somebody? Only on 94.3 Radio 1, One World, your station. What a man, what a mighty good man, say the Salt and Pepper Girls. Pretty much describes my guest of the day, Dabboo Ratnani, the celebrity photographer. Some amazing stories from a 25-year-old career. More to come now.
94.3
This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishi K.
Radio 1.
For some of them, the Dabboo Ratnani shoot is incredibly nostalgic. I mean, you mentioned John's first portfolio. AB is very open about the fact, Abhishek Bachchan, that his first shoot was with you. And Vicky now, who makes his debut.
Yeah.
Vicky has said that very publicly, saying, my first ever shoot was with you, Dabboo. Though AB's sarcasm is never lost on us. But even through that sarcasm, the love for you just comes across. So the first shoots, with Vicky and AB.
Hrithik, Tushar, John, Vicky Kaushal, so many of them have done their first. So I'm saying this lesson, there's a lot of these moments. In fact, tell you one more story after this. So that with Vicky also, it was, for me, Hrishi, I'll be very honest, when I'm shooting a newcomer, when I'm shooting, say, for instance, take Vicky Kaushal, and when I'm shooting him for that film campaign, it's his first film. We don't know if he's going to do well. We don't know at that point what his career graph is going to be. But
sorry to interrupt. Was this Masan, the first shoot that you
No, it was Zaban.
Zaban, got it. Yeah, continue. Yeah. So you don't know at that time.
So it was first. So we, we planned the campaign. We met in advance, planned the shoot, everything, and I meet Vicky at the shoot. So I put in as much effort as I would put for a superstar. See, for me, because he's a newcomer, I don't treat anyone less. For me, like I said, it's a bond that I'm making. So when I'm doing a photo shoot of a newcomer, when it was John, for instance, or for Vicky, or for Hrithik, or for Tushar, Hrithik came to me for the photo shoot and didn't even tell me I'm who he is. He just told me I'm your junior from school. He didn't tell me he's Rakesh Roshan's son. So I mean, I've still put in that effort, and I still feel that bond and that energy with them, and I connect with them, and I try to do my absolute best that I can do, even if it's their first photo shoot. Then they go on and become stars, they go on and become superstars, and that's the point. Today they even talk about it. They remember it even now. So that's what I'm trying to say, is that you can't, because somebody is a newcomer or somebody is an unknown person, you can't treat him less, what I'm trying to say. You have to, give it your best as a professional. For all the photographers also who are watching out there, there shouldn't be discrimination that this job is not exciting or this. Don't do the shoot if you're not excited about it. For me, even today, 25 years later, when I go in for a shoot, my thought process is that what new should I do? I treat my job as if it's my first day at work and say, okay, I need to prove myself. I need to impress this person. What should I do? And today, because if it's a newcomer, even for a portfolio, an absolute nobody, my name goes out with every picture. So for me, I don't want to ruin that for anybody. There's a certain amount of expectation when they come to me.
That's a very valid point, because I remember during when Rab Ne Bana Di Jodi was launching, Anushka became a huge star. And when Band Baja Barat was happening, Anushka was the mega star, and Ranveer nobody knew Ranveer Singh. And without taking any name, all the journalists were like, Anushka's the star, she's the Shah Rukh Khan heroine, she's in Band Baja Barat, let's go after, and this and that. And I approached it as a journalist saying, here's an actor, here's an actress, one has a little more experience. And when I interviewed Ranveer, I just found some incredible spunk. And a lot of journalists at the time missed out on that interview because they only wanted the star. And look where life has taken them today. Because for me, it was an interview. It was my work. And I had to just get a good interview out of that person. And, the stardom is really secondary. It happens. Sometimes it doesn't happen, So that's really wonderful. And it's a good lesson for young photographers who are watching.
More fab life lessons and work lessons shall come to you tomorrow when we return with part 2 of the Dabboo Ratnani interview. I'm Hrishi K, and this This is 94.3 Radio 1 World, your station. Let's do some rock in the form of Nickelback, and if today was your last day. Good Time by Carly Rae Jepsen and Owl City, heralding some good times for you. It's part 2 of the Dabboo Ratnani interview. 25 years of an eventful career, 19 years of the annual calendar that he shoots with India's biggest stars.
94.3
This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishi K.
Radio 1.
Speaking of Anushka, I mean, the only time she's missed one is when she got married. And you've shot with both Anushka as well as Virat.
Yes, so we were trying. In fact, when she was getting married also, it was a big secret. No one knew about it. So we were trying to still coordinate a date, but she couldn't tell me that, I'm getting married, because nobody knew about it at that point, So she kept saying, I'm trying. And then finally it was out that, okay, she's getting married. So then I obviously understood that, that this year won't be possible. And, so that's when a space opens up and we get a newcomer into the calendar, so it becomes an opportunity to change the list when a date doesn't work out of an actor. So that's how the choice of even the 24 happened in my calendar, where I make a wish list of mine who I work a lot with and who have been shooting with me since so many years. And then if date doesn't permit or something doesn't work out, then that slot opens up and then we approach a newcomer also. So every year we add 2-3 new names in every calendar. Also, to add the freshness. So like this year, Saif has done a shot for the calendar where last few years he hadn't done a shot for whatever reason, So it's the list keeps getting refreshed every time.
And Sunny Leone, so much is said about her sex appeal, we know that. But they're just wonderful people, aren't they? I mean, I've seen workout pictures of her husband with you guys. I remember hanging with him and him playing me his rock and roll, and she's also such a warm, affectionate person. They have as a family man, you would appreciate the family they have. And Sunny, again, you've shot her, some of her best work is yours, in her contemporary life. So Sunny makes a return.
Yes, Sunny's been, since we started shooting, she's been a part of all my calendars. And we did this amazing shoot in Thailand where we shot the bikini campaign, which she just posted few days ago. And like you said, she's a very, very warm person. As a family, we've connected, she has 3 beautiful kids as well. And my kids go and hang out there with her kids sometimes. Since our first shoot together, the Thailand shoot also, Manisha, me, Daniel and Sunny, we all bonded big time. And in those 3 days also, we remember that time. We remember that how we bonded as friends, and they've always been there, after that as well. Whenever we've needed each other or we always had to talk to each other. During mom's time also, they were very much there. So, it's been a great friendship. We really, like you said, Daniel and me worked out together a few times. It's great bonding with them, and it's great fun talking to them also. The sense of humor, the kind of the one-liners sometimes they come up with. It's great fun to hang out.
The bonds that are forged in the media, lovely. More with Dabboo Ratnani, a man on top of his game, celebrity photographer extraordinaire. This is Sia featuring Kendrick Lamar, a super hit called The Greatest. Enjoy the song only on 94.3 Radio 1 World, your station. I'm Hrishi K. Halsey doing what she does best, which is put out a great song, that's Without Me. Dabboo Ratnani's epic annual calendar came out just before we went into lockdown, and we're discussing his life in isolation with his lovely family and his shooting with some of these mega stars.
94.3
This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishi K.
Radio 1.
So Akshay also said that there's a family connection. The kids hang out with his kids and things like that.
Right.
And he wishes you around in the 70th edition of the calendar. So again, an old friendship. And the thing with the action guys is you can't shoot them like the rest. And I love what you do with Tiger. I love what you do with Akshay. And you've used dogs with Akshay. One of them, is it your family member dog?
Yeah, it's my family dog.
So talk about Akshay and Tiger. Yeah.
So with Akshay, I think we've known each other ever since he or me both came into the industry. It's been I think over 25 years we've known each other. And similarly, the same story, that time Akshay wasn't such a big star. And, I still treated him with a lot of respect. I still treated him the same like I would do with any top star, and then they remember that, first of all, it has to be a given that you do great work, you do shoot them well. Today, even if you're a great guy, but if your work is not good, you cannot sustain in the industry. So you have to do good work. and at the same time be humble, at the same time evolve. So with Akshay, it's been, and with it's been such a relationship where we've known each other, we've worked a lot together. But you have to be on the ball. You have to do good work. You can't waste time. He's all about professional. He shoots start at 6 in the morning, 5 in the morning. I mean, so you have to even sometimes wake up and set up at 3 in the morning so that it roll at 5 in the morning. So, and with that, I've never ever delayed or never not been there on time for his shoots. I've always made sure that we are ready in time. And I think he respects that. He respects professionals. He respects technicians. He is open to experiment. And year after year, he also puts in a lot of thought that ye saal kya kare calendar ke liye. Every time and any time, like in the year also, if he sees a good concept or he thinks of something, he says, listen, remind me in December that we have to use this or we have to do that. So when he thinks of a creative concept, he thinks of me to be shooting that concept for him. So there's a bond and connection. With Tiger, when I think of something unachievable or something crazy, I think who to do it with. I say, okay, let's ask Tiger if he can do this, and he loves that also because, to keep challenging him to that energy that he wants to utilize, and he's too bindas and he's too amazing in front of the camera. I mean, with Tiger, he's fabulous in front of the camera, and he's a really, really nice guy. Really sweet chap.
Tiger Shroff, Akshay Kumar, all vying for space in Dabboo Ratnani's calendar for 2020. More with the friendly, total pro celebrity photographer up ahead. It's Doha Cat with Say So. I'm Hrishi K, and this is 94.3 Radio 1 One World, your station. Here too, from the All That You Can't Leave Behind album, that's Elevation. Dabboo Ratnani is my guest of the day. This is part 2 of an amazing chat about his life in lockdown and his wonderful equation with these A-list movie stars who featured in his much sought after calendar year after year, especially the beautiful ladies.
94.3
This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishi K.
Radio 1.
Parineeti gets a grunge look with a corset. She's looking lovely. Jackie, again, somebody who just loves you. You're doing horses with Kiara Advani. Is it a Sindhi connection? Because it's just as South Indians, we have that.
She's another girl whose first portfolio I shot. Her first time she faced the camera was with me again. So with Kiara, I think I've known her mum when I was an assistant. Her mum was a model, and when I was with Sumit, I met her during those days. So there's been a lot of connection. So her mum had called me for the shoot for Kiara's first portfolio, and she said that my daughter wants to shoot a portfolio. But the amazing thing is that she was so confident in her first shoot. Her mum didn't come for the shoot, which I was expecting her mum to come. Her mum didn't even come for her portfolio shoot. I mean, Kiara came on her own, shot an amazing portfolio. And when you see that kind of hard work, you see that kind of look, you can say that this girl's going to be a star. Or with Hrithik, when I saw it, from the first frame I shot, I could see, man, this guy is something else. I mean, the way he faced the camera, the way he posed, it was amazing. These people, there is something, people knew, I wouldn't take names, but there have been people, when I do a portfolio, say, hey, if he can be a star, why can't I be a star? I'm better looking than him. People don't understand it's not only about looks also.
Yep.
Today you have to be good looking is one thing. Looks is, it's relative. Today, everybody is not conventionally good looking as an actor also, but there has to be an X factor for a newcomer. They must understand that, to be on the screen or to be a hero, to be a star, you have to have some X factor that people look up to. There has to be, then only you will make it to that level where people look up to you and want to be you. If you're just another actor or you're just another person, who's trying to become an actor, you don't have that X factor, you cannot make it as a superstar. So with Parineeti, with Jacqueline, everybody, you see, they've got a amazing talent. They're great looking is one thing, but they are very good in front of the camera, and that comes through even when they do a photo shoot or they are acting in a movie. So when a person is doing a photo shoot also, the expressions play a big role in it. Today when your photographer is telling you to do a particular look or try a particular pose, the conviction that you do it shows in the picture. So that's what tells you that, okay, she's photogenic, she's trying hard, she's experimenting. So there's a lot of acting that goes into even a portfolio or into a great fashion shoot as well.
So what's the first thing you're going to do when the lockdown gets over? The very first thing.
I think I'm gonna go to the studio. I've been missing it big time. And I need to go for a haircut. I think the barbers you need to do. And gym. I think I need to work out. Been eating all the kiddie junk food as well at home, so need to start working out and put on some weight. So I need to start getting that off as well. And I just need to go out there, just drive around, feel the fresh air, go for a bike ride maybe. I don't know. There's so much to do, but we need to be careful even when we step out. I mean, it shouldn't be that the lockdown opens and everybody's throwing parties. That's not the way it's going to work. We still have to dive into it slowly because, if we're very cautious, the vaccine's not out and we need to still follow exactly what the regulations are. So I'm all for the regulations. So I'm going to do anything, but, do it very slowly, do it very carefully.
Worthy advice from a public figure that we love. Dabboo Ratnani in conversation with me. This year is Shania Twain and I'm going to get you good. Only on 94.3 Radio on One World, your station. My name is Hrishi K. Bailando, what a cracker of a hit by Enrique Iglesias and Sean Paul. The man is known for his technique and skill as a photographer as much as he's known for his warmth. Dabboo Ratnani is chatting with me.
94.3
This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishi K.
Radio 1.
Steph, I love these BTS behind the scenes stuff that, Manisha, your wife, does so well, putting them out digitally, you guys. There's a lot of feel behind it. And Saif Ali Khan made one statement, which pretty much can be the byline or motto of your life. He said, Dabboo was somebody I met in the 90s. Pooja Bhatt introduced us. He worked quick. He worked fast with less lights and less makeup. Is that still how you prefer to do things? What a cool statement.
Totally. No offense, but many photographers, complicate the whole process. They try to make, setting up 20 lights or try and do this and try and show like they're working really hard. But they must understand that the stars don't like that. They don't get impressed by you wasting their time. So you have to be clear in your head that what kind of lighting you're going to use. You have to be clear in your head and do all your experimenting and your practice and your setup 2 hours before the actor comes. So when they are there, you should be able to knock it out really quick. They will always value, that energy of a shoot doesn't last for 6 hours or 8 hours. That 1-2 hours is a peak energy that you need to capitalize on. You need to kind of, that great vibe, great energy, feel good factor, play the right music, the right ambience. That energy has to be really, so that quick shoot happens because, we are well prepared. The whole pre-production with Manisha, me, everything is all done before the actor comes. And so even if they come for like 10 minutes for the calendar shot or for 1 hour, 2 hours of the ad campaign that we are shooting, we knock out work that people would normally do in 6 to 8 hours in those 2 hours. So I think the actors love that, that it's done, it's effective, it's good, and to the point, that today he's not going to remember the 20 lights that other photographer set up, and he's going to remember the pictures. As long as the shots look good, how you achieved it doesn't matter. So whether you use 1 light or 0 lights doesn't matter. I feel that, you have to be patient sometimes. In an ad film shoot, I've been waited for 7 hours, 8 hours also. Because the ad film, when they're shooting and the stills are happening, on the side, you have to wait. You can't throw tantrums. You can't behave and give attitude to those people. So being in the profession, good equipment, creativity, everything, and patience is very important as well.
Is there a travel destination that you've been to in the past, either alone or with the family, that you just absolutely adore? You go there and you say, wow, Dabboo, I could live here.
New York. I think New York is some place I could live in, some place which I love as also because one thing is, how many times I've gone to New York, I feel I've not seen enough of it. I feel that there's some great food places, there's some great photographers there are great locations to shoot, and also a lot of culture. Like every street that you go to Soho, it's different. You go to Koreatown, go to Chinatown, Italy town. There's so many small quaint places in the lanes, that you can keep exploring. And I'd love to do a fashion shoot in New York. I've done some film publicity shoots there, but I've never really explored the art side of New York City.
A hypothetical question: if you were to be locked in any place, which would you prefer most? Is it just home, or would you like to be elsewhere?
Home, yeah.
Oh.
Sure. I've been definitely, like I said, it doesn't, although it's a lockdown, but between in the last few years, since we've had the kids and everything, it's either studio work or I've been home. I've been more of a home bird. In the younger days, we've done all that partying and done all that stuff. So been there, done that. Now I think it's more about family and it's all about work and home, and that's it. That's where my life kind of circulates.
That's what I love about you, the quintessential family man and professional.
A last leg of conversation with the excellent Dabboo Ratnani. Hang by as I play you some 21 Pilots and Level of Concern. My name is Hrishi K and this is 94.3 Radio 1 One World, your station. Camila Cabello with Liar. My guest of the day is one of the most eminent fashion photographers of our time. The very well-spoken, wise Dabboo Ratnani has given me just the most delightful interview today. Our last leg still to go and I thought we'd end in a philosophical vein.
94.3
This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishi K.
Radio 1.
You think the virus has taught us something as a society, not just small things that you and me are learning? Is there something that we can gain from this? I don't know. These are dark
I
times.
think it's taught everybody a loads of stuff. Everybody's going to take back something. Everybody is different for everybody, but I mean, we need to respect nature. We need to, finally, it's what your basics it comes down to. It's about even, I think about for me also, it's about, I haven't invested properly. So, I mean, the insecurity as well. So there's loads, I mean, that you think about and it's going to be, once we come out of it, I mean, I think everybody will be a changed person, at least I think. And people should remember that, I feel it's not about doing it during only the lockdown or during only the, till this virus lasts. I think it's something, lessons that we need to keep for a lifetime, because I feel that in our lifetime, we haven't seen anything like this. In our forefathers and in our parents' time, there have been wars, there have been blackouts, our parents have seen, like the coming from Pakistan, the whole separation, everything that happened during my parents' and my grandparents' time. In our time, I think we haven't seen anything so serious, especially in India. So I feel there's a lot that's learned. I mean, our kids also have seen this at a very young age. So I think this is something, I mean, few years later, we'll look back and say, oh God, you remember the time that we spent, you remember the time that, I mean, I'm sure that day will come, but I think there's a lot to learn and to be remembered.
Dabboo Ratnani, wonderful to talk to you. Thank you very much. Cheers, buddy.
Just tell me, what have you learned? Tell me, Hrishi, what have you learned from this? What have you taken back from this?
I've just learned that I've learned a lot of patience. People will turn around and say that children teach you patience. That's one thing, but the next level of patience. And obviously there is anxiousness because, like you said, you always think of what life is beyond. But I think my biggest learning is to try and be in the moment. Because if you think of the past and the future, you go into some kind of a loop here. So I'm just trying to, I mean, it's tough, but I'm trying to keep it in the here and now.
First 2 weeks was quite crazy. Yeah. Then about 2 weeks ago, I have exited all my WhatsApp groups. That helped a great deal. I've been so much happier. It's not ignorance is bliss. I think whatever you need to know is out there from the correct sources, Exiting the WhatsApp groups and waking up in the middle of the night and reading those was kind of driving me nuts. Wake up in the morning, there were 40, 50 unread messages of these groups, which I exited all out of. I mean, I'll join my friends back after this gets over.
Yeah, I mean, aren't your school and college group guys sending you separate messages saying, are you pissed off? Why are you going off?
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah, but I'll join them back. But it was getting too negative. I feel that even I'm, want to stay in the moment. I rather enjoy my family time rather than worrying about what's going on and so much fake news that keeps coming on it. So I forget it. Just stay away from it.
Valuable words. Thank you, Dabboo. Cheers. Bye.
Thank you. Cheers. Thanks, Hrishi.
The Course with Irresistible right here on 94.3 Radio 1 One World, your station. I'm Hrishi K.